I met a gypsy.
I look at Formula One and, you know, you see like Danny Rick and you see Lewis and like they are themselves the heroes now. It's not the team. It's not even the car. Like it's like they are the heroes. Like
you'll follow a driver from team
exactly.
to team.
And you'll see like even on the weekend in Miami, like I mean you see the images of like Lewis and Danny rocking in.
Can you go find we need some walk-ins of
and
those. You
and
shared
it's like
one on your Instagram, right?
and I was like, so what did I put on my Instagram that like
Lewis's hot pink one?
Miami Lewis is the best Lewis, like because he just absolutely just went to town with it.
There was a sick jacket combo. He rocked up with a no shirt.
Yeah. I think that was like the
jacket
Saturday. Yeah, because Sunday he had the full pink outfit. But like that's the kind of stuff. Like I love Lewis. I mean, people slam him, people hate it, but
I'm not the biggest fan, eh?
Look,
I'm Team Danny Rick though, so it's pretty hard for me to. But Lewis, I don't know.
I mean,
don't know how
I get why people don't like him, but I just feel like what he has done for Formula One, like his reach beyond motorsport is something we just have never ever seen before. Like he had Michelle Obama for bloody hell, like in his pit garage over the weekend in Miami. Like he's there at Met Gala. He's there on the front row of, you know, Fashion Week. Like he's got, you know, he's there like with Beyonce and Jay-Z. Like he's crossing, he's crossing so many different avenues of pop culture. And I think like what he's done for motorsport in other areas is like, we've never ever seen it.
I completely agree.
I mean, like
I'm not the biggest fan, but
look
I completely
at like how
agree.
like I can't
That is pretty dope.
It's the best. I friggin' love it so much. But like that's what I'm saying. Like people follow them because, and it's the same in NBA. People follow players because they rock in and they've got the chains or they've got the shoes on or like the cool outfits. And I'm like, kids see that and they're like, oh man, that is like, I need to get those shoes or I need to have that hat or whatever it may be. And I think that if you're an athlete and you're not playing to that, you're missing the boat. Like you're so missing the boat. Yeah, no,
100%. And I mean, they're really, Lewis does do it so good and he does bend so many genres. He is a modern day rock star.
Yeah, 100%.
And there's not many, you are right. You're looking at a LeBron type of guy or like who is probably like a Durant, you know, like a Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Like they're like they're almost bigger than the sport in a way.
And he is bigger. Like people will hate me saying this, but I think he is bigger than the sport because he's crossed into so many different genres of pop culture and society through what he's been doing. And look, you may hate him for what he says and his attitude, but
that's the bit what I don't like. I just feel there's just like weirdness with his attitude about certain things, and I'm just like, come on, I don't know. But he is a spectacular athlete. To win the amount of races that he's won and to do what he's done in the most competitive sport, I think that it's just insane. I think it's hard though when you look at, let's say, a Tiger Woods or a LeBron James, Michael Jordan, any of those, because that's the level that he is. I just don't know if drivers get that same respect though, because they're a part of a team and a car, and so it's always a two-part conversation. It's always Lewis in the best car. Is he in the best car? Would he win if he was in this? So I think that's probably where some of that, or that's the leg people have to stand on, I guess.
But you need, I mean, look, in motorsport you need both. You need to be the best
100%.
driver in the best car in the best team, and people can say, well, maybe he wouldn't have won all that if he wasn't in that car, but he would have found that car because the best athletes find the best environment for themselves. So whether yes, and there's always going to be sliding doors moments, and there's always going to be like, oh, okay, well, he was there at the right time because that's when they took off and all that sort of stuff. But the best athletes find themselves in the best environment and the best situations. 100%. And whether that be the car, the team, the mechanic, the engineer, his bloody physio, Angela, whatever, you know, like people... And it's the same in supercars, and it will be the same in most sports. Like the only like sort of anomaly maybe is like an AFL where there are arguably the best players who won't win a premiership because they're not in the best team at the time, and that's probably the a bit of a anomaly in that sense. But I think in a motorsport sense, like the best will find the best because that's how it works.
You're so right, and I seriously think that all of the things that you would kind of, I guess it could work against a person like Lewis you go, oh, he's lucky to be in this, he's lucky to be in that. I think that when you really break down luck, though, there's all these different versions of luck, and there is a version of luck that you end up manufacturing for yourself.
100%.
And you just trace that line all the way back to the very beginning of your life. And there is just this slow compound interest of good luck that you can create in your own life. That is exactly what you said, leads to you being in the best car, in the best era, whatever. You got the best sponsors. It's almost a recipe for success where you can't lose.
Yeah.
And then that's where people will, to kind of go against your point, but it's like, yeah, he is lucky. But this is this manufacturing of luck from a 4-year-old kid in a go-kart. Yeah. And what you're seeing is the result of like compound interest in a sense.
Yeah, 100%. And like you have that conversation all the time in motorsport, whether it be Formula One or Supercars, because, you know, people say, oh, well, he, you know, I suppose use an example like Jamie Whincup, like, because he's our best, you know, he's our greatest. And people say, well, maybe he was in the best car, but he was in the best car because he deserved an opportunity because he was the best at the time, and then you know, continued, and what he did with that team over time as it evolved, and
the human that he is to keep that drive, and to never get laid off when times got tough or whatever.
And that's what I think, if you haven't been around sport in some way, whether it be yourself as an athlete or, you know, working in media or as a sponsorship manager, like whatever it may be, if you haven't been around sport, it is difficult to understand what it takes to stay at the top level for many years, you know, 7, 8, 9, 10 years or whatever it may be. Like Jamie, for example, staying at the absolute top of his game with the absolute most pressure on himself from external pressure, social media pressure, you know, all that sort of stuff.
Life.
And then and then juggle that with everything else that's going on, and to stay at that pinnacle level of an elite athlete over a 10-year, 12-year, 15-year career is insanely hard. And yes, they do get, you know, paid well, and they get, you know, they live in a nice house and all that stuff, but like it's all relative
more
to
money, more problems.
Yeah, it's all totally. But it's all relative to that situation, you know, like, and I've been in a fortunate position that I've been around athletes through my job, and then obviously through Will, my husband, and it is insanely hard to stay and maintain mental and physical and emotional discipline and success for an extended period of time.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.